What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, Facebook fam? It is Tuesday, and you know what goes down here on Tuesday. Wife Chat goes down here on Tuesday. And do me a huge favor and make sure that you're hitting the share button and letting all my one sexy wife know that Wife Chat is going down on here. And it is a special Tuesday because this is the last Tuesday of 2021. Can you guys believe that? You guys, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you. Make sure that you're hitting the share button, letting all my one sexy wives know that Wife Chat is going down. Make sure that you come into my chat and let me know where you're watching me from. I would truly appreciate you. And so, again, it is Tuesday, and this is the last Wife Chat of the year. And usually I only stream from my business page and to my YouTube page, but this time I'm also streaming from my personal page because I really wanted to talk to you guys about how to do an end of the year marriage checkup and why you should do it. But I pray that all of you had amazing Christmases. I know that I did. Thank you guys so much for voting on our annual gingerbread house building competition. You know that I won because all of the people in my house is losers. I'm just playing, but they're haters, right? Thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you. Mr. Perry from watching from the Philadelphia, Mumbai, India. I appreciate you guys so much for getting on, and I love when the men get on. So I appreciate you guys so much, and so tonight I want to just come on here and again I said I pray that you all had wonderful Christmases. Thank you guys for watching me on my YouTube channel. I appreciate you guys. And I wanted just to come on here and give you some tools and some tips that you need to do before you go into 2022, right? Thank you for joining me, Tiffany. Why do I know your name? Tiffany Dow. I know that name. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I don't know, your name just rang a thing. Hi, Tanya. I know who you are. How are you? I appreciate you guys for getting on. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. And so, I, I I hope that you guys had an amazing Christmas. I know that I did. And again, like I said, thank you guys so much for participating in our annual. It's been since 2014. I've been whooping them in the gingerbread competition. And so we've emailed several times. Okay, that is that because I'm like, I know Tiffany Dow. So thank you so much for letting me know where I know you from. I appreciate you getting on here. And so I want to talk to you tonight about doing the end of the year marriage checkup. And my suggestion is that you do this at least twice a year, right? At the, at in June, right? And then you will do you since you're doing it in December, I think, doing it again in June is really important because some of us get so busy throughout the year and we think that everything is going well. And as you guys know, that I get a chance and the opportunity, which I don't take lightly, to coach and to teach people all over the world. God has truly blessed Gail, and I'm so excited. And I know for a fact that 90% of people who come to me they come to me because I'm open and honest with my own struggles and my own things that I have made mistakes in my own personal marriage. And so when I was dealing with all of these things, I realized that you have to do some kind of marriage checkup. You have to ask the hard questions because a lot of times we say that we've been blindsided by our spouses when they say, A, this is just not working for me. B, I've committed adultery. Or C, I want to walk away from my marriage. You feel like you're blindsided. And I will tell you, there is some instances where we have been blindsided, but 99% of the time they have been speaking to you. They have been showing you signs that there's a problem, but we are so busy, we're so focused on other things that we don't look for the signs, right? And so my thing is that I ask the hard questions. The hard questions, and when you ask these questions that I'm going to talk to you about, right? Be prepared for the answers. Be prepared for the true answers, because you can never fix what you don't know, right? So be prepared for the answers. And so let me give you some of the questions that you should ask your spouse, right? And this will open up a dialogue, hopefully, that you can handle, right? A dialogue that you can get some true information, that you can begin to implement some changes to make it better, so when you have your next checkup in June, right, that you can see some progress, and they can too, right? And the thing is that when you get ready to do this checkup, it needs to be in a mutual place where both of you guys are relaxed. You're not dealing with any other issues, but you want to address these issues. So, question number one is, how do you think my communication skills are? Right? Do you think they're good? Do you think that I'm a good listener? Do you think that I receive the information that you have to tell me? Or do you think that you can be brutally honest with me? All of those things go along with communication. Hello, everybody. Hello, Andrea. Hello, Yolanda. How you guys doing? Thank you so much for joining me. I truly appreciate you guys. Ask the hard question. How are my communication skills? And communication skills go along with listening, right? How are my communication skills? And about 7 years, 8 years ago now, I had to go back and take a communication class, because even though I was teaching and speaking all over the world, Gil told me that my communication skills was horrible with him. I'm like, but that's what I do for a living. He said, yeah, you communicate better with other people than the person you sleep in the bed with. So that was an eye-opening experience for me, right? An eye-opening experience for me. So I went back to school to understand on how to communicate and to listen to my husband. And in the intern, I got some communication skills and stuff that I pass on to my clients as well. Hi, Angie. How are you? Thank you so much for joining me. So that's the first question. Be prepared for the answer. Number two is, how can I serve you better as your spouse? Not be stepped on, but how can I serve you better as your spouse? You're like, Gail, I do enough. I do all of this stuff. He does nothing or she does nothing. I want you to stop thinking that way, because I am a strong believer in sowing for what I want. If I want peace in my house, I sow peace. If I want laughter in my house, I sow laughter. Whatever I want, I sow. And when Gil and I was at our worst point, God told me, Gail, sow into him. Do the things that you want reciprocated back to you. And I'm like, but I have nothing left to give. Yes, you do, because you continue to give it to other people. So reciprocate it back to Gil, and I will take care of the rest. So how can I serve you better as your spouse? And it could be the smallest things that you're missing. How can I serve you better as your spouse? Number three, am I still physically attractive to you? That's a hard question. And don't look for them to lie to you. Look for them to tell you the truth. And I would tell you, 99% of men are visual beings, right? And you already know, if you didn't put on a whole bunch of weight, you already know all of these things. But the question still needs to be asked, and be prepared for the answer. Be prepared for the answer. Because again, you are warding off, by having this conversation, something that could be brewing in the future. So if he says, no, you didn't gain too much weight, or no, I don't like the way you've been wearing your hair, or no, I want you to do X, Y, and Z. Be prepared for the answer. And let me just tell you, doing one of these checkups, this happened, I don't know, about 14 years ago. All my life growing up in Texas, we used to entertain in our bedroom. So, like, when people come to our house, my mom, like, y'all come on back, sitting on the bed, everybody sitting on the bed, laughing and grinning and talking. So, for me, when I would do that too. As soon as my friends come over, I would parade them up to our bedroom. We'd be laughing and talking. I'd be showing them all my new clothes, all of that kind of stuff. And I did not know, for years I did this. Years I did that. That bothered my husband until we had a conversation. He's like, gee, why does everybody that come over to our house got to be paraded up into our bedroom? I was like, what? He's like, why? I was like, well, because if I bought new shoes or whatever, he's like, well, why you can't bring the shoes down? Why you gotta bring them? He said, because that's our personal space. He's like, that's my chill space, and you paraded. And I just did not know, because he never said anything, but I never asked. So make sure that you ask these questions. The next thing is saying, the next question is, have I told you that I love you lately? Those words have power, and we take them for granted, because the longer you're married, and most of the time, most men, and I'm talking to the men now, will say, well, I show her that I love her because I get up and go to work every day. She knows that she's beautiful because, I married her. He knows that I'm attracted to him because, I ain't stepped out on him. We need to hear those words. He knows that I love him because I cook for him every day, and I take care of his children, and I take care of the house. Those words have power. So when is the last time you told your spouse that I love you and I appreciate you? If you have not, implement that, because they need to hear it. He needs to hear it. He isn't to me. I'm not understanding what that is a good one. Okay. I've learned so much from you, and I'm using these tools. It gets tough, but I won't stop. Thank you so much, Tanya, for saying that. So at the end of the day, Zena, I'm not understanding what you said. He isn't to me. I'm not understanding what you mean by that, but it might have been one of my points that I was saying and I didn't catch it. But anyway, so make sure that you tell your spouse that you love them, and make sure that you tell them that you're still attracted to them. Oh, you're not attracted to your spouse anymore. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. And my thing to you as his wife, right? Because it's really hard out here. I get a chance to talk to a lot of singles. If he's a good man and you're not attracted to him anymore, what can you do to help him to get in a space where you're attracted to him again? That's the question. Okay. The next one is, how am I doing with intimacy, love, and sex? How am I doing in that area? How am I doing? Do we still hold hands? Do we still hug? Do we still kiss? Or are we intimate? Do we like lay on each other? Can I put my head in your chest and vice versa? Are we intimate? And intimacy has nothing to do with sex. But if you have amazing intimacy outside of the bedroom, you will have amazing sex inside of the bedroom if you do it correctly. So, how are you doing in that area? How can we improve that? Do we need to get out of our normal environment? Do we need to go to a local hotel? What do we need to keep that part of our relationship, our marriage, spicy and hot? What do we need? Because we begin to take each other for granted. That becomes a routine, and sometimes it becomes a chore. And that's not the will of God. So ask that question. How can I improve, and how can we improve on our intimacy, our love, and our sex? How can we do that? And the last thing is, how is our dating life? Do we still date each other? Or have we become so complacent that we don't even date anymore? People who know me know on Fridays I am dating Gail. They know. Even if I'm traveling, I am dating Gail because that's what's important to me. I give so much, but that time is sacred to me. We don't talk about any hard stuff. We still go on a date even if we're mad at each other, and we make it work. Because at the end of the day, when all of this is gone, when my children are gone, all of it, I still want to be in love with the man that I said I do 33 years ago. Have we been through some stuff? Absolutely. But these are some of the questions that you need to ask. And the last thing is do you pray for me every single day? And when I was in a bad space, it was very hard for me to pray for Gail because I couldn't even pray for myself. But I'm up every morning at 4 a.m. praying for him, praying for me, and praying for each and every last one of you guys under the sound of my voice, plus millions more around the world. And people have called me at 4 a.m. and I am up because that's a call on my life, because I want to see you win in this thing called marriage. I understand that it's not perfect. I understand that it's hard. I understand that all kind of things happen in your marriage. But going into 2022, what can you do different to make it better? Because the grass is not always greener on the other side. It's not. Trust and believe me, it's not. So if you can fix it, fix it. And stop trying to point the finger at the other person. Look inside yourself and say, what can I do different to make this better? Remember, you're not dealing with a child, you're dealing with grown people. So the only person you can change is yourself. You can change how you react. You can change how you communicate. You can change how you show up. Because it takes two to tangle. Yes, every hour, 2 minutes. Yeah, you do that 20-minute prayer that I taught about on my Facebook page. Keep everyone out of your business. You are right, Lakeisha. You are 100% right. I do all that, but I don't bother with sex. Okay, you don't bother with sex. Okay, but sex is healthy for you. And if it's some health challenges and stuff going on, then that's something that you can address. But if you do all the other things but you don't bother with sex, then that's a missing piece, because sex is good. It's good for you, it's good for your husband, it's a time for bonding, but it also is good for the body, and it's good for you as a woman. So I don't know why you don't engage in sex, Andre, but we could talk about that offline if you want to, but it's good for the body. Hello, Miss Wakila. How are you? I appreciate you. Look for positive and good in the person. Absolutely, Yolanda. I totally agree with you. But again, you guys, make sure that you do this checkup. And these are just some of the questions that I asked. Gil and I have like an extensive conversation, and we've already done our checkup. So I already know some of the things that I need to work on. He already knows some of the things that he needs to work on. And again, sometimes I have to be prepared for the answer, right? One was the thing was like, gee, sometimes, you need to put this down. You need to put this down. I had already implemented not putting, being on, having no electronics at the dinner table, right? But, sometimes when he's talking to me and we watching a movie, I'm checking this and doing all that. So I have to do better at that. I do. I have to do better at that. And just here lately it's been a whole lot because a lot of the media has been contacting me, wanting comments about certain things that are going on in the media. And so I don't want to miss that opportunity, but I realized that it was impeding on my quality time with my spouse. And at the end of the day, that's what's more important, because I didn't marry the media. I didn't cut a covenant with the media. I cut a covenant with Gail. So I have to keep things into perspective. And so, again, my prayer is that you got something out of this teaching, and that you formulate your own questions that you want to ask, and make sure that you're prepared for the answer, right? And don't take it personal. Do something about it. And as you guys know, I'm here all the time. I'm here for you guys. If you have anything that you want me to tackle in 2022, you know that I will. No question is offline. I will make sure that I just say where you're from. I won't ever say your name or anything like that. So your questions are safe with me. I do have a couple of questions that I need to answer that I got this year that I'm going to take into next year. One is from somebody who is on here, so I'll make sure that I answer that question going into the new year. But again, I pray that you guys had an amazing, amazing 2021. BSB conference is still going on and popping unless God says something different. So hopefully you guys will be joining me on January 21st and 22nd here in Maryland. You still can register. You can just go to my page, gailcrowder.com. I would love to see you guys. I have some amazing workshops that will be up on my website starting on the 1st, that you can register for throughout the year. I'm going to be tackling a whole bunch of things that people need me to tackle. I know in February I will be tackling, married roommates, the sexless marriage, because that seems to be a huge, huge thing. So I'm limiting all my workshops, online workshops, to only 20 wives, because I want to be able to engage with you guys and you feel like you're in a safe place and not have hundreds and hundreds of people on there. And because that's important to me, that you feel like you're in a safe place. So again, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for making Wife Chat a huge, huge success. I've been doing this now for 4 years. After I had my surgery, I came on here talking to you guys because I was bored. But I've gotten questions from all over the world, so keep the questions coming. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Happy New Year to you. Make sure that you set reasonable goals for yourself, for your marriage. Don't try to outdo anything. Just be authentically who you are and who God made you to be, because you are more than enough. If you need me, you know that how to get in contact with me. I do offer a free consultation on my website. So again, I love you guys to pieces. Have a happy, happy, happy New Year's.